Hi everyone. So today is going to be a bit of a sensitive topic. We're going to be talking about trauma. So before we start off, I understand there's a big stigma associated with the word trauma. It's usually thought to be associated with something that is life-changing, a huge event. But the thing is, trauma is anything that happens to you and your body was not prepared for it. So your body goes into shock. Even the tiniest thing that could cause some sort of shock is considered a trauma to you. So this is where we note that each of us have different thresholds for trauma. So just because something doesn't seem traumatic to you when someone's recounting their experience, it's important to not invalidate what they're feeling because what they're going through is traumatic for them. So our body naturally has the sympathetic and the parasympathetic systems. When your body goes into shock, your sympathetic system gets activated. Your body wants to protect itself because it senses potential danger. So it's going to go into this hypervigilance state, which is also known as fight or flight mode. So there are different types of trauma. We have acute, which is what you feel when you're in a dangerous situation. You have chronic, when your body constantly goes through like something traumatic. And the last one is the sneakiest, yet it's the most dangerous one, which is known as post-traumatic stress disorder, also commonly known as PTSD. So this happens when you're not actually in any danger, but some sort of trigger just activates your sympathetic system and you go into this hypervigilant mode. Before we proceed, I want to get a bit anatomical with you guys. Trauma actually changes the way the brain operates. So the prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain that helps us make conscientious decisions and the part that controls impulse. The amygdala is the part of the brain that is responsible for sensing danger, basically like a fire alarm. With repeated trauma or major trauma or triggers from past trauma, there's increased risk of amygdala sensing if there's real danger or not. And when there's a trigger, the amygdala jumps to a conclusion that there is true danger and your sympathetic system gets activated and your body goes into full-on hypervigilant mode before your prefrontal cortex even has any idea what's going on. So your body goes through exactly what you would go through if you were in actual danger. And this can be detrimental because the whole concept of fight or flight mode, where your body is getting ready to fight or flight, it takes up a lot of energy. And when you're constantly in that sort of state, it can have really, really terrible health effects. So usually these attacks are known as panic attacks. There's a rush of adrenaline and that causes all of these symptoms. So what do you do when you are having this adrenaline rush? There's two methods that has helped me immensely. Grounding. When you feel this adrenaline setting in, it's good to remind your amygdala that there's no true danger around you. Start by describing the things around you, where you are, what you're wearing, what's in your hand, being aware of that. So this is basically a mindfulness practice. And reassuring your amygdala, literally talk to the amygdala. There's no real danger, you're safe, you're protected, we're fine. I think to say that we're fine, that really helps. Another way, and this is more of like a proactive way, and that would be to create your safe space. When you're well, close your eyes and imagine some place where you feel safe. It can be your house, it can be your room, it can be out of the world actually. It can be anything. Imagine a place where you feel safe and put all these details. If you want to put a bookshelf in there, put in there. If you want to put palm trees, go for it. Put as many details as you can. So when you actually have this adrenaline rush, what you do is you imagine this safe space and automatically you feel protected, you feel safe. So these are the two methods that you can use when you feel that adrenaline rush setting in. But the most important reason why I want to do this video today was to focus on healing from trauma. The first step to heal from trauma is acceptance. I know it's like pretty, you're saying it so easily, like acceptance, like what do you mean? The thing is, it's important to accept that what happened to you in the past is out of your control. And you have to accept that that traumatic past is a part of you. It contributes to who you are today. So it's important to accept that part of you, to embrace the part of you, and to be aware that it influences your personality, your decisions that you make. It is a part of who you are today. So what happened in the past is out of your control, but what you do with it and how much you're going to let it influence you today, that's completely in your control. We feel powerless when something traumatic happens to us, but we have all the power when we decide what to do with it. These experiences are uniquely yours. They've made you strong and they've made you a better person. Because the past has happened, that was out of your control, but today is yours. What you do today is in your hands. In Buddhism, there are 4 noble truths. And the first noble truth, life is suffering. There's a sense of acceptance that life is filled with pain, misery, and suffering. In Islam, this quote right here says that life is a test. So back to our education system. With every exam that you pass, with every level that you progress, the test is going to get harder. You've been taught all these lessons and then you have a test at the end of the year to see how well you fare. But the one thing there is that you have been given all the skills and all the knowledge that you need to get through the exam. That's what school prepares you for, right? To pass the final exam. This is where you have a bit of faith. When you're going through something tough, it's important to be aware that only you have the skills, the knowledge, and only you have the strength to get through this traumatic event. The main gist of this video is that your perspective of trauma is what matters here. The way you look at the things that happen to you in life really influences your present and your future. Sometimes it's hard to not feel like you're broken. Especially when you go through repeated trauma in your life, it's hard to not feel broken. But look at a sculpture. The number of hits it takes, the amount of heat that it's put through, months or even years worth of patience as a sculptor slowly chips away every part of it, but it's still standing there. It's becoming this beautiful sculpture at the end of it. Every piece that was chipped away, every hit that it took, it was all worth it at the end because it was being sculpted. So we should look at the trauma or the bad parts of our lives. Let's not chuck them away. Let's embrace them and look at how it's contributed to who we are today, how it has molded us. We are not who we are today without our suffering. Thank you so much for listening, you guys. This is just part 1 of this video. There's going to be a part 2 where I'm going to be talking more about healing. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!